What's up YouTube? So in this video I want to show you the flooring that we got for our new house and a few small tips and tricks to use when you're installing that flooring. This is a luxury vinyl plank, and the nice thing about it is completely waterproof. The bottom of it is like a hard plasticky rubber material and the top is vinyl. And the stuff that we have, I don't know the exact thickness on it, but it's got some it's pretty solid, which is exactly what we wanted. And we ran this flooring through our entire house, with the exception of our master bathroom, which we will tile. I ordered this online through Cali Bamboo, it's called, and they have a ton of flooring options. We actually got a bunch of samples sent out to us just to see what they looked like in person in the space. And from all those samples, we narrowed it down. This one, I'll put it in the description if I get it wrong because I'll go and research it quick, but I believe it was Bayside View, if I remember right. But it's a really, really light, kind of has a tannish gray color to it. And we really wanted that light and bright floor to match our white walls, to kind of give the illusion that our house is a lot bigger than it actually is. But we put down underlayment as well. Some people say not to use underlayment with vinyl plank, but when you're laying it on concrete, if you don't put some sort of barrier down, you're going to hear like the crunching of the concrete on the bottom of that hard flooring, and it's just an awful sound. I did that in the basement of our own house. So we just put down some really, really thin underlayment just to soften the noise and give a little bit of cushion. You don't want to use a really thick underlayment that has a lot of give to it, because the reason they don't recommend underlayment is if you step and there's some give to that flooring, those seams will kind of want to pull themselves apart. So use something a little bit on the thinner side and you'll have a lot of good luck. I want to say a huge thank you to Tim and Jeremy, two of my buddies back home that were a huge help with this whole flooring process. They came in they came to our home while we were in the delivery room with our baby, and they finished out the flooring for me and my wife, and for that we are forever grateful. I'll show you the clips here of how we were installing the flooring, and I hope you guys like it. As far as tools go for laying in this flooring, you really only need a couple tools. One, I've been using a chop saw or a shear to actually cut the flooring. And then I like this dual purpose rubber mallet over here and a regular hammer. And of course, you're gonna need some knee pads or one of these kneeling pads like this. Then a tape measure and a pencil, and that's about it. The one last specialty tool, which is in the other room right now, is kind of an L-shaped bracket that you put in tight corners where you can't swing a hammer, and it just gives you more clearance, and I can show you that a little bit later on. They also make a rubber block to hit right here and pound everything tight. And I'm gonna say don't waste your time or money with one of those. They just deteriorate and you get rubber all over the place. Instead, just grab a cutoff piece and make sure you got the correct end. In this case, it's the female end. And just drop this into place like that. And then you can swing your hammer and hit that end. You're gonna go through a lot of these because they chip away, but they work way better than that rubber block, at least in my opinion. So we just made a bunch of these right away. And when we wreck one, we just toss it and grab one of the other ones, but definitely use this. Now, as far as workflow goes, what works really well for me is I lay out a bunch of these planks along the row of wherever I'm going. And that way I don't have to get up and walk and grab them in between each piece. And as I'm going, I just scoot along, and you can kind of see this stair step pattern that works its way over. So I'm gonna move over to right here, put in these two pieces, come back up a stair, put in those two pieces, come back up another one, put in all of those three, and then I'm gonna start all the way on that end again, and then start making a new set of stairs on the way over. This has allowed me to get a lot more done in a day versus walking to and from the box the whole time. And if you can find anybody to help you, literally just them walking along and setting these down on the floor for you as you go, so you don't have to get up off of your block, you can just keep scooting along. makes a huge difference. And then when you get to an end piece and you've got a little gap at the end that isn't quite a full-length piece, all you do is flip it around the opposite way, make your mark, cut it, and then you can install it, and I'll show you how that works too. All right, so now this flooring is super easy to install. It's your pretty standard click-clock vinyl, but what I like to do is set in, I'm trying to do this one-handed, but I set in the bottom just like that, and it kind of locks in, and then I slide this over until it's nice and tight over here, and then I put a lot of pressure in towards me, and then I push down, and that's going to leave a small little crack there that will try and knock a lot tighter with that little block. But then I just take my rubber mallet here and I hit that so that it gets rid of that little lip there. And then I come along with this handy, super expensive tool here, and I lock this in place. And I'm not gonna be able to do this one-handed, but take a peek at this gap there. You can see the black showing all the way down. Once I smack this in, we should pretty much eliminate that gap. So off camera, I'm gonna hit this one home, and then I'll show you what it should look like in the end. So here's that same gap in front of me. It closes up really tight, and you can't even really tell that there's a seam there. Now over here is where it gets a little difficult, because you take the block that you want to hammer on, and in this case it goes right up to the door jamb, and there's no way to get a hammer obviously behind there, so that's where this tool comes in handy. All right, so now I've shifted over and I'm to the last piece in this run, and what you want to do is take your next plank, and this is the way that it would normally sit on the floor, and you're just going to take it and flip it end for end, slide this end up so that you have the reveal that you want. Remember to leave space for the wood to expand and contract. Then you're going to come over to the piece right beside it, and you're going to scribe a line. Then you're going to go over to your table saw and cut this. This is going to be your waist piece, and this piece is going to fit perfectly in here. Now, just because I said it's a waist piece doesn't mean it's garbage. Then you take this piece and start your whole next row over there with it. That gives you a nice staggered seam look, and I like to keep it completely randomized so it's not like a stair-step pattern everywhere. Try and mix it up here as much as you can. The more random it is, the better it looks, in my opinion. But I'm going to take this over to the chop saw, cut on that line, and then that'll finish up this row. All right, so I just cut my piece here, and just like before, slide this in all the way, line it up over here and drop it into place, and we got a piece that fits our spot perfectly. Works every time. You don't even have to get a tape measure out. You just fit each piece to the space exactly, and then this cutoff piece will start my next row over there. All right, so this little area here has actually been pretty good to show you kind of some of the curveballs that you're going to run into, if you want to call them that, when you're laying flooring. So here's a jamb or a door opening, and it actually goes around this corner as well. But for us, we're actually going to get pretty lucky here and be able to cut out pretty much a basic square here. And how you do that is you just set in your plank right up where it's going to go over there. And then I just take a pencil and scribe each edge of the drywall here, and then I measure. I pull this away and I measure from here to here. Make sure you give your 1/4 inch or whatever reveal you're going to have there to allow for expansion. And then whatever this measurement is here, you transfer from the bottom up, and then you scribe your mark. So here I'm left with this square, and I'm going to cut this out quick and run over to the table saw, take that little box out of here, and this should fit into place. And that will take care of the opening of this door here. And then I have this one to worry about, which is another opening over into this bedroom. And I need to take care of this little jut out as well. So to do that, I simply measure from here up to that point, which was about 6 inches. And then I measure this width, which is a little over 2. Make sure you add a little extra so it can move freely. And then I just transfer that over here, up 6 inches, over 2 inches. And now I'm gonna have kind of this shape to cut out. Obviously you don't need to make this cut here. It's just gonna be this little Tetris looking piece here. And after you cut it out, everything should fit in pretty good here. So this reveal seems really big, but there's gonna be a door jamb coming down here that's gonna pretty much hide all of that. If this wasn't an area where a door is gonna be, you're gonna wanna probably cut this in half. This is probably close to 3/8 to half of an inch here. But as far as everything else goes, it's looking good. So this place is kind of a train wreck right now, but I kind of wanted to show you what this flooring looks like in place without giving away too much of what we're currently working on. Literally looks like a bomb went off in here, so I apologize for that, but here's a couple rooms. Seamless into every single room, which is what we wanted, no transitions anywhere. And then here's the main area. We're really happy with it. It's quiet when you walk on it, and it has just a slight give to it. And in the light here, it really looks great. All right, so I'm gonna close out right here with this video. I hope you guys like this flooring as much as we do. We're gonna continue painting doors, get some trim work done, working in the bathrooms. So stay tuned for all of those things. And I hope you've been enjoying this whole build process. We're getting to the fun stuff where everything we complete now makes a huge difference, and we couldn't be more excited with how things are looking. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the next build.